Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another empowering morning conversation. I feel that ever since we started at 7 in the morning, we are getting better attendance. So, congratulations to all of you who voted to be here at 7 in the morning. And here we are, moving from negative to positive, moving out of our default mode. The problem with the default mode is that it limits the possibilities that are visible to us. If you cannot see all the possibilities that are there for you, and you only have a limited perception, there is a limit to how much you can do in life, right? So that's the reason, one of the reasons why we want to be here looking to get out of the default mode so that we can have a life of ease, joy, and glory. This is our Access Consciousness mantra. I love it a lot. All of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. So you want that, then you get out of your default mode. Default mode has another characteristic to it. It's always fighting with something or the other. So it's either this or that. Either I'm right or I'm wrong. Either you are right or I am right. Right? How many positions we take? We forget that we are all together, right? And together we can resolve anything, but we spend a lot of time blaming each other for whatever's going on. Because of you, because of you, because of you. How does it matter because of who? Right? We want a solution for everything, isn't it? Now that's something which also eludes us in the default mode, because in the default mode, there is polarity, there is right and wrong, good and bad, tu, main, that's all is there in the default mode. And the interesting thing is how much of blaming we do of ourselves. A lot of people feel bad. No, I don't blame anybody, sir. I am always blaming myself. Hello? Blaming yourself is again not an act of responsibility. If you're going to be busy blaming yourself, will you see possibility? You won't, no? So blaming yourself is a part of your judging of yourself. Morning, Thomas. Walking on the streets of Lula Nagar, Pune.
No, sir, I'm at home. At home. Very good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, sir. Nice red shirt.
Kurta yaar.
So, I want guys, listen, let's get back to what we are talking about. That is the default mode, and we wanting to shift out of it. So have you noticed that in the default mode, our attention is not in our control? When we are reacting, our attention is not in control. When we are resisting, then our attention is totally fixed on that thing that we are resisting. Now that's something which we are resisting, maybe something very good for us. Let us imagine that you're a newcomer in a profession, and after observing you for a month or two, your boss sits down with you and he gives you certain observations, and he gives you certain do's and don'ts, right, to help you. But in your default mode, you gave a meaning to it. You had a point of view about what that person said, and you didn't like it, so you started resisting it. And because your attention was fixed on resisting it, you could not see what valuable information and guidance that the person might have given, just because you did not like the way he said it. Are you getting it? So there is that big problem with the default mode. So we learned something here, right? It's called don't judge yourself and don't judge your others. And you know what a lot of us will do? We'll be judging people who are judging. But that's also judging, no? So that becomes a part of your default mode. Judging is bad, no? So those who are judging are bad people. Or if I'm judging, then I'm a bad person. No, it's not like good or bad again. Don't have to bring good and bad into it all the time. If you're judging, you're judging. Just notice that it's something which is just a point of view. Will judging allow you to be in allowance? Hello, guys.
No.
Will judging allow you to be in allowance?
No.
Great.
No.
It will limit you.
You cannot be in allowance, right? So what is judging? It's only an interesting point of view. It's just an interesting point of view that you have. You're not attached to it. The moment you start emotionally getting attached to your interesting point of view, that becomes a judgment. And when you can live your life out of allowance, allowance means what? That everything is just an interesting point of view. And you don't have an opinion about it, you have a judgment about it. And you can just let things be. And that's called living in allowance. Can you be in allowance in the default mode? Not possible. Can you recognize every time you're getting into the default mode? What do you say about that?
Yes.
Every time we get into the default mode, are you able to recognize it and say, there I go again?
Yes.
Sometimes, sir, sometimes not.
Yeah, when you recognize it, it's good. No, you can get out of it pretty fast. So I wish we had some kind of a meter, which we could keep in our pocket and it goes beep, beep, beep every time you get into the default mode. So we've got some wonderful gentlemen as a part of this forum. They are experts in artificial intelligence and all that. Maybe they can design some kind of a device, right, KP? Where, it beeps every time you get into the default mode. That should be a very interesting programming possibility, right? May open up a new business for KP also. Something that can recognize immediately, hey, you are getting into the default mode. So my question to you is, sometimes we can recognize that we are getting into the default mode and sometimes we don't. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's look back on yesterday. We'll not go back far in time because you won't remember. Let's look back on yesterday. How many of you recall how many times you went back into the default mode and then you came out of it consciously? Yes, Sagar.
Yes, sir. Yesterday I went for default mode for quite long time, sir. And I came out of it while I was sleeping, sir. Not
That means
before.
all your waking hours you were wasted in the default mode. What were you doing?
Sir,
What
I
are
was
the default mode?
resisting, sir. I was resisting because I want something and other want something. And whatever I want should happen, sir. And it is best for me. And whatever other think what should happen is not best for me.
Yeah.
So I was resisting, sir.
Unless things are happening my way, I don't want it, I'll not participate in it. Right? So there was no participation only.
Yes, sir.
Arey Baba, some game is better than no game, na? It's all a game anyway. So you're saying, oh, you play my game, otherwise I don't want to play. मेरी गेम खेलो तभी मैं खेलूंगा.
Yes, sir.
तो हुआ
That's
क्या? कोई गेम ही नहीं हुआ.
I want. That's only, sir.
Yeah, so now we cannot ask you what that was. That you can tell me offline if you want to. But I get it. But you saw it. I mean, you went out of it only at night. My God, what a waste. Now, you know what? If you had realized that this is my default mode and got out of it earlier, the possibility, now listen to me carefully. If you had not been resisting it, then the possibility that you can enroll those people, enroll, you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To enroll them into your point of view, and maybe you could have played your game too. But you were so busy resisting that it never occurred to you that the possibility of enrolling these people will be there also. And even if you're trying to enroll them in your default mode, they'll not get enrolled. So tell me, when we get into the default mode, one thing which definitely goes missing is possibility. Correct? What
Correct.
else is missing when you are in the default mode? Something goes missing when you are in the default mode. One of them is possibility. What are the other things in your opinion? Because when you get into the default mode, you know, na? What
Yes,
goes.
sir. Peace of mind, sir.
Okay, peace of mind. Now somebody else can also speak. You can also speak.
Awareness of self.
Awareness reduces. Okay, what else?
Focus on other things.
Anji, Gopal, say it again.
Tolerance
Tolerance increases or decreases?
decreases.
Okay, very good. Somebody else?
Yeah, focus gets diverted.
Focus gets diverted. What else happens when you're in the default mode? See,
You're
it,
not in creative mode.
exactly. One thing, 1 minute, hold on, everybody. See, Suresh said attention gets diverted. Actually, when you're in the default mode, na, your attention is only on that problem or some situation that you have. It cannot see anything else. So
Yeah,
it
I
gets
can.
not.
Yes, sir. I can say that default mode is many times a fault mode.
Yeah, okay, you can call it more fault mode also. You like jumlas. You should write speeches for prime ministers. You'll be good at it. Okay. Okay, somebody else. Yes, Abhinav. What?
See, the oneness with the world is broken.
Oneness with the world is broken. Yeah. What else, Neeti?
So the physical discomfort in the body increases.
Physical discomfort in the body also increases. So it could be the blood pressure or your heart.
Blood pressure, there is pain, there are other discomforts, just pulling sensation, muscular pain.
Yeah, okay. In your case, maybe that's happening. All right. For some others also, it may be happening. All right. Some other people.
Stress.
KP, you're going to write some AI to help people detect when they are getting into the default mode. So you'll have to know what is present that when they are in the default mode. What happens? What do you notice? What is missing when you get into the default mode?
You disconnect from yourself.
You disconnect from your real self. Okay, what else?
Increasing blood pressure, sir.
Yeah, what goes missing? ये तो increase हो गया. शांति भाग जाती है.
वो सही है.
मतलब शांति, not वो तुम्हारी वाली शांति नहीं.
वो भी भाग जाती है, सर.
वो भी भाग जाती है. हो. Now tell me, guys, each one of you should be able to identify what goes missing for you when you get into the default mode. It's, the moment you start realizing the price that you are paying for getting into the default mode, then you will be wanting to get out of it fast, no? But have you noticed one thing? When you get into the default mode, it feels so natural. Now, this is my home.
It is almost disconnecting with everything and getting isolated.
Yeah. And what are you losing by doing that is what one has to keep in mind, right? And how often does it happen?
It almost daily happens, and realization is more important, immediate realization. And,
Yeah, if it does
come
not
out of
happen, then you'll go to bed with your, like this man Sagar said, no? It went away only when he went to sleep.
Yeah, we only get frustrated out of that.
Exactly. So what should you do when you get into the default mode? Stay there or get out of it fast?
Get out of that. I mean, that gets generated. Default mode is by default, but we have to come out of that. I mean, we should have that kind of practice, like daily coming and meeting and sharing with people and all that. Then
there are many other practices that we have given, many tools that have been given to you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember one or two of those tools that we've given you in this program?
Yeah, one is laughing exercise. Other one is noticing the objects in the room.
Yeah, 50 different objects, looking at them very intently.
Yes.
Then
Right now,
Crazy statement.
Yeah, you can do the crazy statement. That's the easy way. Okay, so who said that? Why don't you tell? Because I don't think our friend Suresh will remember right now. So can you say that crazy statement? Hello, somebody said that we can use the crazy statement. So
Sir, Leena.
hello, is that Priya who said that?
Leena ma'am said that.
Yeah, so
Can I-
Leena ma'am, then tell na what is the crazy statement? भूल गए.
Everything is opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is opposite of what it appears to be. Wow.
Good. I'm so happy. I do any filmy thing and the casa will appear. How do you like that? Thank you, Casa, for reminding and remembering. You know, so when that happens, you can say it about 10 times. Usually your brain is free when you said it 10 times. If it doesn't get free, keep saying it. In any case, your mind is saying some stupid stuff and getting upset. ऐसा ही होता है, मेरी जिंदगी ऐसी है, मेरी तो नसीब ही ऐसा है. So instead of saying all that, you can say everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Musical also, no? Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Make it like a mantra, you know. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Swaha. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of
what it appears to be.
Everything. And see how you lighten up, and how you lighten up and become open to receiving the unlimited energy of the universe. Okay, so let's do this little exercise. Everybody close your eyes. Okay. Silently, and take a long deep breath and say to yourself, I am dropping all my barriers and I'm opening myself to receive the unlimited energy from the universe. I have dropped all my barriers and I'm open to receive the unlimited energy from the universe. And I'm allowing this energy to come into me from all sides, from the soles of my feet, from the top of my head, from my face, from my eyes, from my bottom, from my front, from my back. I am open and I am receiving, and I'm like a sponge, you know? I'm like a vacuum cleaner. I am bringing inside all the energy of the universe because I belong to the universe and the universe belongs to me. And I'm opening up, I'm switching on my vacuum cleaner of my body and my mind, and I'm bringing in all the energy from the universe. I am allowing it to fill me up. And experience that flow of this beautiful energy into you and enjoy it. It is yours, it belongs to you, you deserve it, you're a part of it. This energy goes where you want it to go. So if you're inviting it in, you know, we can spend the whole day allowing ourselves to be connected with the energy just by intentionally, mentally opening up and saying, hey, I'm completely connected to the universal energy at all times. What energy, space, and consciousness can I be that will allow me to be connected with this universal energy at all times, and anything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Yes, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pork, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And when you allow this energy to come in, you will be feeling so wonderful. You will allow the magnificence of this energy to permeate you and make you so fulfilled and happy. And you can be in this very powerful state all the time. So enjoy this energy and open your eyes as you are still in the energy. And as you are experiencing energy, open your eyes. And if you wish to speak something, you can raise your hand and I will ask you to speak. Yes, Neeti ji.
Today I have to go and meet somebody, and what's coming to me is whatever this person tells me, I have to receive it with an open mind. There is something new in the horizon which is going to come through. In which aspect, professional, family, personal, I don't know as yet, but something new is going to come through and I have to receive it with an open mind.
Wunderbar, wunderbar. Thank you very much for sharing it. Okay, Leena.
Sir, something mixed sensation like tingling sensation on the fingers and then calmness and happiness also.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Very good, very good, very good. Yeah, who else? So I'm not asking you to speak about the exercise only. You know, when sometimes we have such a profound connection with the universe, sometimes the heart wants to say something. So you can say whatever you like. Yes, please, go ahead.
So today is my class. So I'm thinking, how can I be in power? And also sharing all the information that I have regarding the subject.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Kunen? Kunen, are you there? Acha, Neeti, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Keep sharing about whatever is coming up for them after doing this wonderful exercise. All right?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get you.
I said, I'm just going out of the meeting for 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I have to shut down at my end.
Yes, sir.
So you just encourage people to share about whatever they want to say after experiencing this exercise.
Sure,
All
sir. Sure. Yes, sir. All right. Who would like to share now?
Yeah, Nidhi ji, can I?
Hanji, please, sir, boliye.
Gopal here.
Hanji, boliye, sir.
I feel quite empowered
Great, sir.
and feel like empowering everybody who comes in contact with me.
Yes, sir.
That's what my take.
Wonderful. Who would like to share next?
Yeah, this is Suresh.
Hanji, boliye, sir.
My basket of mind is completely empty and ready to receive anything.
That must feel so wonderful.
Yeah, it's very lighter, the feeling.
Light feeling, वो tension या वो crowding of thoughts नहीं हो रही होगी इस वक्त आप.
Yes, yes.
Great. Wonderful. Yes.
I'd like to
yes,
comment.
Sakshi. Hanji, Samina ji, just a moment. Sakshi, you raised your hand
Yes.
first.
Yes, yes. So what, there are some major changes happening in my life and major decisions are being made at this moment. So I'm like, going through a very, doubtful state since few days. So now when I connected and when this process happened, I feel like regaining that connection with universe or God, and I feel that whatever will happen, it will be like, for good. So sort of acceptance is coming in, and my well-being and all is taken care of. That kind of, secure feeling is seeping in. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Wonderful. In fact, we will all send you lots of energies so that whatever phase you're going through, you're able to go through it very, very smoothly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All the best. Samina ji.
Yeah, I feel that, what Sir said, that if you can connect to the energy of the universe, then it makes you feel so light. And I'm smiling away all the way, whereas even I had tension and I was feeling very heavy.
Yes.
So, yeah, I feel it's a wonderful thing if you can connect many a times in the day, with this universal energy.
Yes, that's true. Abhi, are you still feeling heavy or you're feeling a little different?
No, I'm feeling a little light, but not totally. But yeah, there is a little change because it has made me smile and get a little loosened up.
Great. You might want to repeat the exercise again for yourself sometime during the day. Good. Anybody else who would like to share next? We have very few people on camera today. Sagar? All right, Suresh sir. It's okay. Anybody else would like to share? Yes, doctor.
I felt that so many things are leaving from us while breathing, doing a breathing exercise. And then it gives a freshly feeling. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Abhinav ji.
Hi, Niti ji, what thoughts are coming to my mind is कि, like I'm bored and I'm frustrated. ये बार बार ऐसा क्यों होता है? बार बार डिफॉल्ट मोड में चले जाते हैं, बार बार डिफॉल्ट मोड में चले जाते हैं, फिर उससे बाहर आओ, फिर उससे बाहर आओ. ये कब तक चलता रहेगा यार? मतलब व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन टू द इटर्नल ब्लिस कि हर समय आप डिफॉल्ट मोड के बाहर आओ? उसका क्या सॉल्यूशन है? इज दैट द सॉल्यूशन?
सर बोलते हैं रोज की प्रैक्टिस, हमेशा की प्रैक्टिस.
अरे भाई, मुझे एक बात बताओ. रोज खाना खाते हो?
हाँ.
रोज ब्रश करते हो?
करेक्ट.
रोज
अभिनव जी, आप भोपाल आइए 17th को बाहर सेशन के लिए.
अभी तो मुश्किल है इस बार.
ओके.
सुखदीपक की आवाज चली गई.
I think his connection got lost again. He's rejoining.
हम पुराने जमाने में पढ़ते थे नीति की भगवान ने आशीर्वाद दिया, उसके बाद उसकी लाइफ अच्छी हो गई. तो ऐसा लगता है ऐसा कुछ हो जाना चाहिए. या जब स्टोरीज में पढ़ते हैं ना कि उसने तपस्या करी और फिर शिव जी ने प्रसन्न होकर उसको आशीर्वाद दिया, तब से then he remained happy ever after.
Okay, sir is back now, sir.
Looks like I'm back, but there seems to be some funny thing happening to my computer. I think somebody is trying to hack it. Not hack it, but hack it. Anyways, so the point is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the question Abhinav asked is a very good one. So there are many tools that we have at our disposal, but I know one thing for sure: you are never ever going to permanently get out of it. It will become lesser and lesser and lesser. So as you keep doing these practices and you are being with us, you will find that you are not getting into the default mode so often. You may develop a new default mode, who knows? The new default mode should be the one which I keep saying, every experience is an opportunity to become a better version of myself. That is the new default mode you can have. The earlier default mode was ye kyun ho raha hai, wo kyun ho gaya, why did this happen, why did it happen like that, it should not happen, blah, blah, blah. We can have a new default mode which says every experience is an opportunity to be a better version of myself. Is this a better default mode, do you think, Abhinavji? We can certainly replace the old default mode with a better default mode. Haji?
Yes, Deepak ji, it's a better default mode.
Yeah. So this is what we are trying to do. There is a old habitual way of being, which we can call as the default mode. And we can always replace it with a better one. There's a problem the mind has to have. You remember we used to say in the ILP, if you don't create a future, the past will come and fill up the future. So we keep creating it and we keep creating new possibilities. And that brings me again to my everyday question. At some point, Kunenji, you blended so much with the background that you dikhai nahi de rahe the. What will I add to my life today that will allow me to create a future that I desire? How's that? What will I add to my life today? You know something? If we operate from this mode, now, we have, a lot of us have got these professions, and in these professions, a lot of daily work has to be done. Am I right? Like Kunen, every day same or similar work only happens, right? And you can take care of it in your default mode. Is it very interesting after some time? Same thing we are doing. Tell me, KP, what do you think? Same or something similar is going on every day, correct? Now, what can happen? Listen to the question. What can happen if you ask every morning, what can I add today that will make a huge difference to the way that we are doing things around here? See, we're just doing, mechanically. So there are certain processes set up. There are certain things that you have to do. Of course, you have to do what you have to do. And then for most of the people, you will be hearing a complaint, sir, I don't have time for doing the things which are important for me. But how much effort have you put in to make improvements that will allow you to have more time for yourself? What creation did I do today to add more value to my own work? What creation did I do today to give me more job satisfaction today? What is it that I can do in my job that will make me feel very satisfied? So let's take a minute, guys, to reflect on this. What can I do in my profession or my job or in my day-to-day that will give me a lot more satisfaction than I have right now? Question is clear, gentlemen and ladies, right? What can I be or do today that will allow me to get much more satisfaction in what I'm doing every day? Now, this is a question you guys will have to answer because I'm not going to speak for myself. What can I be or do today that will allow me to be much more satisfied by what I'm doing every day.
Can I
Yeah.
answer, sir?
Yeah, certainly.
Every morning while taking tea, I write down the things to be done every day. I see and normally if there are 5 things on the date 1, they become 7 by the end. Next day it is 9, 10, 11, it goes on increasing. So if I finish the day, all the points written on to be attended on that day, I will be much more satisfied on that day.
Right. So
If
that
no-
would be
no-
happening. Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing it. It's one good practice. I am going a little bit deviant from that. Okay. Yeah. What will I be and do differently today on my job that will give me a lot more satisfaction as I am doing it? What you're saying is कि अगर we end of the day we are completing all my tasks, you will be feeling satisfied. That's a very good practice. And I would urge a lot of you people here to adopt it. Many people don't do that. So that's a good point. But I'm saying,
So I will add something, sir.
yes, please.
After this EMC started, maybe about 4 months back, now I divided it into 3 different categories. Those who have to be attended today itself. There is no, I don't have a choice. They have to be attended. Then there is something which is to be reminded to the people. Before the next meeting or something happens, they have to take care of that. So that I have divided now into 12 hours, 24 hours and 36 hours. So the list of pending things and carry forward has become less because the next, which is to be attended next day, becomes due on that day. So I think I could have shown it you on the screen. I got now 8-part.
Good. So we will have a session where you can.
See, they are divided into 4 and 4, 8 parts.
Very nice. Thank you.
By which I am able to get myself satisfied by about 6 o'clock. कि ठीक है, आज जो करने का था वो तो हो गया. अभी कल सुबह से देखेंगे after EMC is over.
I got it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And maybe you can take a class here one morning, to teach them this practice. But my question is slightly different, Ashok ji. See, what you said is very useful. Thank you very much. And I actually seriously want you to do one session in the coming week on this topic. But my question is, today, what will you do? Not only for you, everybody I'm telling. What is the way you will be and what is it that will you do that will allow you to have much more satisfaction with the way that you do things?
May I, sir?
Yes, sir.
To make people happy who come in contact with me today.
Yeah, what will you do?
Wisdom, happiness, one thing, wisdom, happiness. And
okay, very good. Thank you very much. Somebody else?
This is Krishna here.
Yeah, please.
Maybe I should be able to communicate whatever I wanted to do whenever I interact with my stakeholders here. Many times I wanted to tell something, it is partially communicated or it is not communicated because of any reasons. So that is always in my mind. Oh, I should have done this. At least I have to make sure that I tell the people what I want to.
Okay.
All the times.
And if you start doing that?
See, definitely there is a sense of satisfaction.
Okay, great. Interesting. What else? Somebody else?
Prasad Garu, please go ahead.
Good morning. Till today, I used to think what I am supposed to do for the day. But definitely, I'll think from now onwards, how I can do things differently every day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mr.
Okay, anybody else?
Thomas Curran.
Yes, Korean.
Sir, I'd like to call up today all the people who are relatives who are in the hospital or are not feeling well and just cheer them up. And if possible, visit them.
All right, very nice. Thank you very much. So my question now is directed to all people who are doing jobs and who are doing their own business, right? I want you to think about what is the way you will be, or what is it that you will do during your work that will allow you to have much more satisfaction. काम तो करते ही हो ना? What is it that I'll do differently? Or in what way will I be different? That will allow you to be much more satisfied as I'm doing my work in my company or office or whatever. See, you may not have an immediate answer to it right now. I can understand that. Yeah, but when you go back to your workplace, I want you to look at it. You know, usually we get into the workplace, automatically we start working. I mean, you might have a to-do list like Ashok ji said, or not. But you automatically work on it and your way of working is the same every time. Because you are a master in your field, you see. Can you take a deep breath, reflect before you start your work today and say, hello, what can I be and what can I do that will do today that will allow me to be much more satisfied with my work? You're already doing work, right? And you're already doing it to the best of your ability. So I don't have any doubt on that. But I'm asking you that what value addition can I do to whatever it is that I'm doing today that will give me more satisfaction? Job satisfaction, as we call it. So it's a good thing to delve into, because we can delve into everything, but this is something we want to avoid generally. वो तो हो रहा है काम. Time होएगा. If I have more time, I can do much more. So I'm not talking about quantitative only. What is it qualitatively you might want to add? I asked this question to one person and he said, you know what, I was always sitting in the same way. I just changed the position for a few things, like ergonomically made it easier for myself. And I organized my table slightly differently and my output improved. But that's what he said. All right. So that's it for today. Wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary human beings. I want you to reflect on all the things that we talked about, guys. Okay? And I shall see you tomorrow for another empowering morning conversations. And until that time, have fun, enjoy yourself, have a wonderful, magnificent day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
So,
Thank you.
stay safe, stay